5 minutes after the hour 11 o'clock here on Urban Radio 94.5 FM. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, the first day in the month of November 2023. Permits me to officially welcome you to the month of November and also welcome you to a brand new show here on Urban Radio 94.5 FM. There is a new baby in town here on Urban Radio, and the name of that new baby is Urban Marketplace. So on Urban Marketplace, we are going to be discussing everything that has to do with business and also helping you to connect with your target audience. This one is for business owners. It's going to be a very beneficial one. Ensure that you join us here every Wednesdays from 11 o'clock up until 11:40 a.m. My name is Chiamaka Ezapata, and I am going to be doing this together with Tony Odukwe. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Chiamaka. It's good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Actually, the show comes up every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, three times a week. Yes.
Oh, 3 times a week. So Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Absolutely.
All right. That's a beautiful one. So, Tony, let's get into it, because I'm sure some persons are asking, what exactly is Urban Marketplace all about? Can you tell us the purpose and goals of this program and also the segment, everything that just has to do with Urban Marketplace?
Great. So Urban Marketplace is a business show, right? If you know anything about Tony Odukwe, you know I'm a business development and international trade expert. So I'm into everything, about promoting businesses and helping businesses get it right, So, and I've seen what's going on in the South, not just in Nigeria, but in the Southeast, businesses aren't doing a lot of things right. And so we have always wanted to correct it, and this is the opportunity to correct that. Okay. So on the Urban Marketplace, we're going to be teaching business principles, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 40-minute show, like I said, that comes up every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mm-hmm. So what we will be doing is, first on the show, every day we come on, is to teach you a few business principles. Like today, you can see what the topic is.
Yeah, we are looking at why your business isn't thriving
and how
export can help.
Absolutely, So we teach you business principles that will help you, rejig your business and make it more productive.
Okay.
And then we go into selling stuff. And so we're going to be selling from real estate products to IT tech products to food items.
So there is no limitation to the kind of business we're going to be talking about here on the show.
Everything business. And so we want the Southeast to get it right. We want Enugu people to get it right. We want Nigeria to get it right. So wherever you listen from, it doesn't matter if you're listening from overseas, some of the principles we're going to be teaching on this show would help you get your business right and make you more productive and more profitable. So that's what it is basically.
Okay, so if you've been wondering why exactly your business is not doing well, this show has all the answers that you need to get it correctly and start making profit of your business. Like I said before, today's topic is going to be why your business isn't thriving and how export can help.
That's right.
Okay, why is export important when it comes to business? Let's start from there.
Very, very, very important. I've said a lot of times that today, in the present day Nigeria, or in the present day business world, some of the most miserable, sorry to say, this is not to insult anybody, but I'm trying to make a point here. Mm-hmm. So some of the most miserable customers you would have today would be Nigerians, right?
Why did you say so?
Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. The reason is the minimum wage in Nigeria is still at 30,000, right?
Yeah.
And we have an all-time high inflation rate of 26%. Right? So that means that the prices of goods and services in the marketplace have gone off the roof, right?
Yeah.
And so everything is going up from gas, the gas jars that you use to cook your food, to charcoal, to bread, just name it. Everything in the marketplace has gone up in price. The only thing that's remained stagnant are salaries, right?
Yeah.
So the Nigerian buyer isn't receiving enough to be able to maintain status quo and buy the same things that they were used to buying. Right? So what happens is, for example, I use gas for example. The new minimum wage, the recent minimum wage of 30,000 was enacted about 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And at that time, gas was selling for less than 6,000 naira. Now, 2 years later, gas is selling for almost 12,000 naira, and the income has remained the same, right? So Nigerian families had, a culture of spending on certain commodities, right? Because maybe at that time the salaries could carry them, right? But today the salaries remain stagnant, but the prices of goods have gone up. So what Nigerians have done is draw up what we call in economics a scale of preference, right? On the scale of preference is a list of the most important things to the family, and so tops on that list is food, medicines, healthcare, and all of that stuff, right? So every other thing like gas has gone to the bottom of the list. Bread is moving into the luxury list. Bread that you eat for breakfast is going to the bottom of the list. Now, Nigerians moved from gas, and most Nigerian families moved from gas to charcoal. Today, charcoal coincidentally has gone into the luxury list because it's become very expensive. And so many Nigerians just can't afford these things. Now, the question is, if families aren't earning enough, families don't spend enough. If they're not spending enough, the businesses that cater to the needs of these families begin to suffer. And so what's going to happen is that most businesses will begin to die, right? So you see why I said the Nigerian buyer is the most miserable one, because they don't have the spending power anymore. And who took that away from them? The bad government policies, bad leadership, government leaders who do not know how to run a nation. And so Nigerians are in trouble. What can they do?
Correct it.
Correct it. What can businesses do to correct it? Now, I have a new slogan. It's a project that we're going to start very soon. Right. Every business to export, right? Okay. So we want every business in Nigeria to begin to target their commodities, to foreign buyers, right? Now, if the Nigerian buyer can't buy your commodities anymore, what are you going to do? Pack up, close your business, and cease to eat? No, you have to eat. You have responsibilities. So what you need to do is take your commodities by way of export and relocate them from this dying economy to booming economies, right? Okay. Now, when we talk about export, people's minds go to America, the UK, Germany. Those are good export destinations. But there are African countries that are quite close to us. And with the aid of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, that means Africans can intra-trade. And so countries like Kenya should be a good market for Nigerian commodities right now. For example, I wouldn't call the brand name, but the Nigerian noodle is selling highly in Kenya. And so if you're a businessman and you're struggling to sell, why not you just move to export? Take commodities, noodles, ship them to Kenya, right? Take whatever it is, shea butter, cassava, name it. There are a whole lot of products made in Nigeria that are needed in different global markets. All you need to do is learn how to take these commodities and ship them to these countries and earn in dollars. So that's where we say live in Nigeria and earn in dollars. And it's that simple. The problem of the Nigerian businessman is not of commodities. They have commodities. It's a market problem. The buyer isn't there. Yeah. So they need a viable alternative market. And export affords you that opportunity. And that's why that topic today.
Okay, so if we are still talking about exporting, the essence of exporting in every business is, so how can one go about exporting his or her goods and services to other consumers outside Nigeria?
Okay, it's a beautiful question. Export is a sweet business because really you don't have to have money to become an exporter actually. Right now, the only thing you need to spend money on is setting up your export business. That means, first of all, making sure that you're registered with the CAC, either as a limited liability company, what we call LLCs, limited liability company, or a cooperative, right? So if you're registered properly, then you go to any EPC, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. They have an office here at the somewhere in Independence Layout, right? And then you get the export license. It's very cheap, just $13,500, and you get it you get the next license the next day. When you've done these two things, essentially, you've become an exporter. The next step is to acquire the knowledge involved with export, right? Which is what we give. And some time in the future, I'm going to talk about the export chamber, which I'm the DG. And what we do is teach people export business, right? So that's the next step. Become a member of the export chamber, learn the export business, and then start trading. It's that simple. Take commodities from Nigeria, find an export buyer. Why I said in export you don't need money is that the export buyer, which is the importer from America or from Germany or from Spain, pays for the export, right? So you spend money in setting up your business, and then you begin to promote your business using social media, digital means.
So it's not capital intensive?
No, not at all.
When we mention exports, people think it's something that is very expensive.
I know.
And that's why they usually shy away from it.
I know.
They said, okay, I'm okay with the customers, with the patronage that I get over here, the local patronage. So aside increase the patronage, what other opportunities does exporting open up for businesses?
For one, it gives you an expanded market for your commodities or services, right? Now, a lot of people don't know this. If you're a tech personnel, you know you have digital skills, you have tech skills, you're a graphic designer, you're a video editor, you're a cybersecurity person, right? You can live in Nigeria and export those services overseas. That's still part of export, right? These Nigerians who are making, how do you call them, skits online.
Yeah, the content creators.
That's right, they're actually exporting. You might marvel at the fact that one of the biggest exports out of Nigeria is Nollywood, right?
Yeah.
Because globally, millions of people are watching this Nollywood products, right?
Yes.
And these are exportable. So you can create videos, live in Nigeria, create videos and launch them on the internet. You're actually exporting. You can go to certain freelance websites with your skills, advertise your skills, sell the skills globally, and you're paid in hard currency, right? It's part of export. But when it comes to commodities, it's about goods that you can take and export. So what you simply need to do is instead of waste your time on Facebook, posting your smiley pictures and all of that, post products from Nigeria. Promote this product. If you have money, put paid ads on this product.
Okay, I want to ask something now. Is it every product from Nigeria that is sellable outside?
Every product.
Every product.
The only things that are not exportable are products. Well, people still export them, but it doesn't add financial advantage to the Nigerian economy. Okay. So the NAPC and the Nigerian constitution does not allow for you to export products that are not made in Nigeria, right? So, but every product made in Nigeria is exportable, down to cow hooves. You see, people kill cattle and throw away the hooves. Cow horns. These are exportable products. Cow hide, right? Shea butter, akinu, how do you call it? Bitter cola.
The bitter cola.
Right? Nigeria is so endowed. We have over 1,000 exportables that you can export. So what we are trying to achieve, and I thank God for this show because it's going to help us do that, is to build 10,000 exporters from the Southeast in the next couple of years, right? And that's why the name of the project that we are starting soon, Every Business to Export, right? If you want to make money, stop chasing the Nigerian customer. Start chasing the overseas customers.
All right. I don't know if before we go, if you're going to tell us a little bit about this project that is forthcoming, or is something you don't want to talk about right now?
Well, I can talk about it briefly.
Okay.
It's going to start with a summit, right? It's going to start with a summit that we're going to do in collaboration with one of the biggest banks in Africa. Actually, they flew in a few days ago to meet with me and my team. And so if all plans go well, we're going to host this show. We're going to bring them here. They're going to pay some money to advertise that show here.
Oh, see? It's business we're talking about. So
it's one of the biggest banks in Africa, so they want to promote, sponsor our summit that's coming up. That's supposed to happen in November if our talks go well. So we're going to start this project with a banger summit that's called Every Business to Export Summit. So what happens is that we want everybody in Enugu and around the Southeast to be at the summit. It doesn't matter who you are. You're an old woman, you're an old man, you're a young person getting out of school, you're still in school. It doesn't matter. Come in. We're going to teach you how to export individually, but we're also going to teach community-based exporting. That is to say what they call cooperatives. People do cooperatives for farming.
Yes,
you can do cooperatives for exporting as well. So we're going to teach all these export principles. By these, we want to grow the Southeast GDP by attracting forex, right? So where you normally earn naira, we want you to start earning dollars. It's very possible. Export affords you that opportunity. And if this summit happens, you're going to be hearing all about it. But Chiamaka, there are other products that we have for sale that we sell on this show, right?
Yeah, we do. We're actually going to get to that. But before we get into it, I wanted to quickly share with us key strategies for successful exporting. Okay,
so like I said, number one is make sure you're registered with the CAC or go and get a cooperative license, right? When you've done that, go get your NAPC license, right? Now, a website is absolutely very important. Before technologies like social media and all of that came into view, exporting was done the harder way. It's by going for trade shows. Trade shows have become very expensive since the pandemic. Flights have become very expensive. But that used to be the old way to find export buyers. You have to go for trade shows, take samples of your products, go there, find people, introduce your business, show them the things that you're promoting, take flyers and explain your business to people in hopes of finding buyers. And it works. It used to work and it still works. It's just that it's become very expensive. So not everybody can afford to pay 2 million naira to go for a trade show in Europe now, right? But there are trade shows that happen in Lagos all the time. There's one that's coming up very soon between China and the government of Nigeria. And if you really want to do export, you should be at that trade show. I don't have the details with me right now, but if you go to trade shows like that, you see foreign buyers, who come to promote their products in Nigeria so that they can find Nigerian distributors for their products. But while they're looking for distributors, they're also looking for raw material. And so if you're there on time and telling them, hey, that you can provide some of the raw materials they need, that will translate into export. And they might order 1 or 2 or 3 containers from you of a particular commodity or two, right? So you have to get that right. You have to go for trade shows. But the most important aspect of this export process for me now is the digital and social media marketing. You have to create a website,
right,
which is not too expensive. And on this website, you're going to use it as a portfolio to hold your products, right? You're going to list all the products that you promote on this website, right?
Okay.
Then you begin to use Google and different social media to drive traffic to your website. Right? So you target countries like America, all the countries that you want to target with your product. You have to find out the countries that buy the products that you sell.
Okay.
Mostly. So if it's America, you target America with digital and social media marketing. So what happens is that that technology drives traffic to your website. So they get to see the products that you promote, and then they begin to call you for correspondences. Once one call comes through and you answer right, a series of correspondences, are kicked off, and eventually it would lead to export. So export is sweet business, and trust me, you don't need to work for the banks. People who do importation work for the banks. You take loans from the banks, term loans of 3 months, 6 months, and you import stuff, but the bank takes all the money, right? But with export, the money that you're paid goes into your current account. Okay,
yeah.
And even if you needed to get a little bit of money from the bank or from an outside investor to fulfill the order, in a few days time, as little as 45 days, you get paid, you pay them back, and you keep most of the money. So export for me is sweet business.